My Christian friend just got back from tour of duty in Iraq. He was telling me that he and a group of soldiers noticed many of the children there are without shoes. So he and his friends decided to get some together and give out to the kids. As they passed through one town that is heavily controlled by the Muslims, a little girl came up and got a pair of shoes from them. Her mother quickly scooped the daughter up and ran indoors while scolding her in Arabic. Because you can translate a scolding in any language, can't you, without even understanding the words. A few days later, as they were returning to their base via the same town, they stopped in horror to see the little girl had been hung and left on display still wearing the shoes. As it turns out, she had been spotted by the local loving imam taking the shoes, and according to Sharia law, no Muslim, especially a female, is permitted to speak or look at an infidel. That's you and me. The mother is now missing and presumed dead. That is the story of one pair of shoes, specifically in the land of the religion of peace. For your consideration, here is another story about a pair of shoes.
Lord, you are good to me, ready to forgive, abundant in mercy to those who call upon you. Lord, your loving kindness is better than life. Lord, your loving kindness is better than life. Lord, you are good to me, ready to forgive, abundant in mercy to those who call upon you. Lord, your loving kindness is better than life. Lord, your loving kindness is better than life.
That is Christian agape love. An open-air preacher preaching to a kid notices he doesn't have shoes, gives him the shoes off of his feet. That is agape love. Would like to share with you now another demonstration of what separates Christianity from, frankly, every other religion. The ability and the willingness, the desire to forgive. Pastor Foote in Louisiana was going door to door, trying to get people saved, preaching the gospel to them, letting them know their sins could be forgiven. What did he get for his kindness? Well, he got jumped by a thug, got hit in the head multiple times with a baseball bat, got all of $3 and his cell phone stolen from his pocket, ended up in the hospital. He's going to be okay, it seems. But the congregation was interviewed by the news media, asked, what do you think about this guy who beat your beloved pastor? Gotta tell you, you will only hear this in a good old Bible-based church.
Pastor Foote is home with his wife, recovering. He was brutally attacked while going door to door with fellow church members in a Harvey neighborhood 1 week ago. His life would change forever.
We just immediately started praying.
The only report we got from the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office was that he was on his way to University Hospital, the trauma center, unresponsive. And that word just kind of shocked us, and we didn't really know what to expect at that point.
When the pastor's wife and son Shannon arrived at the hospital, doctors told them he had suffered a severe skull fracture and received 14 contusions on the head. Pastor Foote had been robbed of just $30 and his cell phone.
Immediately, I was just shocked. I mean, you just don't think that can happen to someone you know.
And those of you who are visitors,
over the past week, prayers have poured in from around the world. Church members say their prayers have been answered. Pastor Foote checked out of the hospital.
The pain is going to continue for the next couple of weeks as his head continues to heal. He's got some pretty severe headaches still. His balance is returned. He's able to walk up and down the hall.
And for the first Sunday in 13 years, a congregation has had to go on without their beloved pastor.
Well, it's taken about 4 people to do the job that he was doing here. He generally preaches an average between 6 and 8 times a week.
Meanwhile, the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Department has arrested an 18-year-old man in connection to the crime.
We would be thrilled at the opportunity of being able to work with him and to help him find a better path for his life. We hold no ill will or animosity towards him. We've already forgiven him.
Church members say that's what Pastor Craig Foote would want them to do.
Amazing. Is there a difference between biblical Christianity and every other religion? Let me take you now to Detroit, Michigan. Officer Matthew Edwards, brutally slain while on duty by a thug. Found guilty at the sentencing hearing, Officer Edwards, his wife, and father were asked to speak.
By spending the rest of his life in prison and never being able to go home to his family, which is okay with me because my husband never got to finish his shift and come home to me.
God's grace has enabled me to forgive Tyrese Matthews. I'll never be weighed down with the burden of bitterness and resentment in my heart toward him. My sincere prayer is that Tyrese Matthews will cry out to God for forgiveness, so that even though he'll be facing justice in this life for his earthly actions, that he'll find mercy and pardon in the life to come.
How can a man forgive his son's murderer? It is because he realizes that Jesus Christ, though equal with God, set aside his rights, humbled himself, laid down his life for us. He did that so we could be forgiven by God. And because we have been shown such incredible agape love, we can forgive and show agape love to others.